Alright guys, got the model 9130 out with the hex receiver. I don't know if you're able to make it out there. It's got the CN there for sniper proven. 1936. Pretty nice gun. This is actually the second time I've had it out. First time I had it out at the range, I didn't do any video, there was too many people here. I did have a target set at 100 yards. I wasn't even hitting paper. Couldn't tell exactly where it was, didn't have a whole lot of time to put towards it. Unfortunately, all I have left out of that box of ammo is 12 rounds. So I'll try to get as much video with that as possible. Today I have something set up at the 50-yard berm to see maybe if I can put something on target there or on paper there and figure out where I'm at with these sights. Obviously I don't have the bayonet on it, so that could definitely be affecting the shot of it. Hey everyone, IntoWeapons back again with you. Pulled another rifle out of the collection that I thought I'd share with you today. This one's a Mosin Nagant model 9130. Specifically, it is a Russia, Soviet Union out of the Tula arsenal with a barrel date of 1936. It does have a hex receiver, which makes it a little bit more collectible, and I'll kind of show you that as we do a close-up of it. But I'm not really going to go into the history of Mosin Nagants. They're a pretty familiar gun with a lot of people, and there's a lot of information out there on YouTube and Wikipedia, Google, etc. that you're able to look up real quick and kind of get the basics of it. But essentially it is a Russian type design, and it's shooting the 7.62x54R cartridge. This particular one, like I said, was made in 1936. I think that was the last year they actually made the hex receivers, at which point they started using the round receivers. There is a few variations. There's the model 9130, which you're looking at here. There was a previous version, and off the top of my head I can't remember exactly what that was, but this is kind of the basic initial line of the Mosin Nagants. After that came the model 38, and then the model 44 was also commissioned after that for a short amount of time. This is the longest barrel. The other model 38 and model 44 are a bit shorter. This gun has a lot of weight to it. It is really long. It is bolt action, obviously, and it holds 5-round capacity. It is a dead shooter. It's supposed to be, accurate for a long distance. This particular one was actually stamped CN with the Russian hieroglyphs, or whatever they call them, which is translates over to roughly sniper proven, which means that this particular rifle was chosen out of the arsenal to be used as a sniper rifle if it ever was needed for it. This particular one was not ever chosen or actually used in the field as a sniper rifle, as I'm not able to find any kind of scope attachment holes or anything like that in the receiver. So pretty much just was chosen for it and just kind of sat on the shelves, I think, after that point. I actually did some shooting with it, and I wasn't hitting much at 100 yards, unfortunately. I didn't have a whole lot of time to do a lot of shooting with it, so I only had, I think, 8 rounds I put down range. And then I was able to find some paper at 50 yards, fortunately. But generally these are pretty accurate guns, and I'm sure if I had some more additional time out there I can maybe adjust the front post. I may be having issues because I wasn't shooting with the bayonet on it. I'll go ahead and pull the bayonet out of the safe. In fact, I forgot about that. This particular rifle did come with the bayonet and the cleaning kit and the pouches and all the other good accessories that come along with it. Generally, you want to, when you buy a Mosin Nagant, if you're not getting that, you should be getting a better deal on it. That's for sure. Don't pay retail price on a rifle if you're not getting the accessory kits with it. So that's pretty common to be able to get that kind of stuff with it. So But overall, real nice gun, nice shooter. The trigger was a little hard pulling. I'm sure you know it probably just needs a little bit of work done to it. But overall, a nice gun. What I'll do at this point is I'll go ahead and pull it down here and we'll break it apart. Nothing special with the Mosin Nagant. I've done it before in a lot of my previous videos. I think I've done one already on my Model 44. And I've also done a disassembly video specifically on the Mosin Nagant bolt. So if you need that specific information, feel free to jump out there. But I'll just do kind of a quick disassembly of the gun. That way you guys have something to take a look at on this particular rifle. Alright guys, so disassembly of this firearm is pretty easily, and really is the same between all Mosin Nagant models. So this is a pretty universal process here. I already removed my cleaning rod, as you can see. You can go ahead and do that if you haven't done that already. What you can do then is remove your bolt, and to remove your bolt, essentially just pull back on the trigger here and slide it backwards, and that will come all the way off. At that point then what we can do is we're going to go ahead and remove our screw right in the rear tang here that's kind of holding the receiver into place on the stock. Go ahead and try to use an appropriately sized screwdriver here so you're not doing any damage to the screw or marring up your receiver surface back here by the tang. Now, you don't want to scratch that up at all if that's possible. So you go ahead and remove your screw there. We'll put it away over to the side. We're going to go ahead and flip our gun upside down, and you'll also notice that there is a screw on the bottom here of the mag well. One thing I do kind of want to point out is the numbers do match on this gun, but there was an old number that was stamped into the mag well here and then crossed off and then re-stamped, not electro-penciled. Those are some things that you want to identify when you are purchasing a rifle. Technically this would be considered a matching set because it was probably done by an arsenal. What you want to stay away from is the electro-pencil ones, though sometimes can be done not by an arsenal, or ultimately then not having the number crossed off and having the actual numbers match is the best way to go about it. I don't know if you're able to see this here, but we have the 1936, we have the star, there is a CN stamp there. This has been refurbished, and then it has the serial number and then the importer marks across the left hand side of the receiver. There is the barrel here, and as I mentioned, it is a hex receiver. As you can see, it's not milled off to make it circular. So overall, real nice gun, in very good condition. Was horribly filled with cosmoline when I first got it, so it is in much better condition now that I cleaned it. What we'll go ahead and do is remove this magazine well here. Put that screw aside, and this should pretty much pop right up and out, and as you can see there, it did. This does also come out like that, and I believe if you squeeze it, it comes out like that. So it's still actually a little bit of cosmoline, it looks like, on the mag well up in the front here. Actually, it's probably coming off the stock is what's happening. Didn't get a chance when I actually purchased this gun. It was kind of colder weather temperatures and wasn't able to really do much with the stock. So now that it's summer, I'll probably stick the stock out into the sun and let that seep some of that stuff out of there. So we have our magazine well. We'll set that over to the side. At that point then what we can do is we can move on to our barrel bands, and these can be a little bit difficult at times. What you want to do is start with your first one towards the front of the gun, and these are held in by these leaf type springs here. So what we're going to do is just push down on that and then slide the barrel band forward. I'm trying to get this so you guys can see it on camera, but I think you kind of get the gist of it. Essentially we'll just slide that forward and off, and then the rear barrel bands can be a little bit more tricky because they're obviously a little bit tighter towards the back. So again, this is just holding on by a leaf type spring. It does have this finger groove here, and that's one way. Alright guys, so I was able to push that barrel band here up to the front of the gun, and what will happen is your front handguard will come right off, long piece of wood, and then essentially the rest of the gun should remove itself from the stock itself as well. You just kind of tip it upside down, and that'll include the trigger assembly towards the back of the gun. And that's what you'll have, just the receiver end of the gun then. It makes it easy for, if you are first purchasing the gun, to go ahead and clean the cosmoline off it. I have a particular video that I just made recently of easy cosmoline removal and a couple tricks on how to do that. I would highly recommend if you're needing to clean off the cosmoline of your at least metal parts, check that video out. But otherwise, that's pretty much it. I won't go ahead and disassemble the bolt on camera here. I won't waste your time with it, but like I mentioned, I do have another video out there that deals with the disassembly of the Mosin Nagant bolt, as there is a bazillion other videos on YouTube of that as well. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Nice gun to have in your collection, especially the long ones like this. They've been going up in value. It's kind of the SKS of our time, from 20 years ago. That was kind of the big gun that was real cheap, and now they've skyrocketed in value. These were plenty. They have plenty of them available at this point in time, but they will dry up eventually, and as they get used and broken, and you know, you're looking at a collector maybe item 20 years down the line that will maybe double, triple in value. So if you can pick one up, maybe around $100, $150, if you can find a hex receiver, you're sitting in good shape. If you have any questions, guys, let me know. Otherwise, I hope this helped, and thanks for watching.